He asked me too long ago. I said, I'll do it. I'm not going to do it to your level, but I'll do it.
We'll do it like, so every 5 minutes you give an update. As opposed to banners like 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Like, hey, good for you for your typing skills, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's right into it. So,
He's quick.
Right, I'm gonna get some food really quick.
Yeah, man.
Then I'll be back for.
All right.
I'll be back in time.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury Wolves Hockey, high above the Sudbury Community Arena. It's Jeff Giffen and Ryan Love for tonight's exhibition broadcast. Sudbury Wolves getting their season started here with some preseason action. And tonight it's the Sioux Greyhounds, who Ryan, the Wolves have already seen this season. A much more veteran lineup for the Wolves tonight here at home in front of the hometown fans. So let's see what we get.
Absolutely. Even last time when they played in the Sioux, more of a veteran lineup for the Sioux, rookie lineup for the Wolves. Now they flip it this time. Get a good look at what our team may look like. Unfortunately, we don't have Gonchar, Ewells, or Roberts in the lineup tonight, but up front we'll get a pretty good idea what this team's going to look like at the season's beginning. Yeah,
it's pretty close. When you look at the forward lines tonight, at least the first three, they are lines that probably are what Scott Barney's looking at, the coach of the Wolves, as potential starting lineup for night one of the regular season. That is presuming everyone's back from pro camps, etc., which often isn't the case to begin the season. But you look at it, it's the first line of Nathan Villeneuve, Kieran Walton, and Alex Ferran, highly veteran line there. And then Provorov along with Kovan and Chitteroni is the second line. And a couple of guys that we saw a lot of last year as rookies who really impressed the locals with their tenacity. Blake Clayton, Rowan Henderson, and on their right side is the veteran Chase Coughlin. Rounding it out, a younger line with Bennett, Dean, and Bremer, and then a little bit younger on defense. Odell and Blonda would be the returnees as the first pairing, Smith and Martin as the second pair, Reggett and Connors as your third pair tonight. And the starting goaltender, the one exception to the more veteran lineup, would be the rookie goaltender in Leonard, who comes in as a fourth-round draft pick and very young. It's always shocking as you get close to the season and you see the birth date of 2009. It makes you feel old, but
yeah,
a young goaltender with high upside, Ryan.
Oh, absolutely. When he was playing in the Sioux, like he was the one who was playing half the game. He started the game, and that's one way to get over the jitters really quick. And I believe he had 25 shots and didn't let any in, so it was a very strong debut for Owen Leonard.
Yeah, like you said, more of a veteran Sioux team in that home game for them, more of a rookie lineup for the Wolves, and as a result, the Wolves got peppered a little bit. The scales might be tipped a little bit here in the other direction, where the goaltender on the other side of the ice might be the one seeing a lot of action tonight. That is going to be a drafted goaltender, Landon Miller, at least getting the start for the Greyhounds. We'll see as it goes. Obviously, exhibition, often you'll see two goaltenders in the same game.
Well, one smart thing that the Sioux has been doing right now, because they do have a young defense, is they're putting in the veteran goalie to give them kind of a shield, right? Kind of some confidence to try to make some plays, not make mistakes, so to speak, but a little bit more confidence to, maybe take that extra chance or feel that if they make a mistake, somebody's going to bail them out. So it'll let the kids play freely, and that's the idea behind today for the Sioux.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you see the rookies on defense, some of them for the Wolves, much more veteran forward lineup. So you go with some kids on D and leave a couple of the veterans behind. So here we go. The Wolves coming out on the ice. First time at home here this season, getting ready for a season, although they have actually had a home game, haven't they?
They have had one game. They have had one home game in Timmins. I didn't realize the Wolves would be the home team in that. And actually, judging from the fans' reaction, watching the game on YouTube, the Wolves were definitely the home team.
Yeah, very cool to be playing a home game in a different province altogether in Rouyn-Noranda. And it was a victory for the Wolves. They come into this one with a 1-1 record, having lost in the Sioux and then winning up in Rouen on Wednesday night. Here we are, Friday night hockey at the Sudbury Arena. We'll get set for the national anthem here in just a second as the Wolves starting to line up on the blue line, and we have fans straggling into the building. It is September the 5th, so in Northern Ontario you're not going to have a full house because camps are still open, and that will obviously make it hard to fill the building. But we know that in a couple of weeks when the season starts, it will be full.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of buzz around the Wolves this year with their younger players coming up. So, and it's always nice to see how the young players have improved over the summer. Guys like Rowan Henderson and Blake Clayton. So we're going to see how this goes, and we're going to shape up for this anthem right now.
right, here we go. Opening face-off just seconds away. Ryan, do you mind giving us a little rundown on who will get the start here for the team in blue and white? And gray?
Okay, yes, absolutely. Starting in goal, we have Owen Leonard as you mentioned, he's a 2009 fourth-round draft pick. He's going to get the starts tonight. On defense, we have veteran player Trevor Odell, and our second-year first-round pick is Luca Blonda. Our forward line consists of Rowan Henderson on the wing, Blake Caton in the center, and Chase Coughlin on the right. So right now, that looks like a pretty good, solid third line as regular season. And it's preseason. There's a pretty solid third line.
Yeah, that's a gritty, tenacious line that the Wolves will start with, and kind of reminding me, I go back way too far, and I don't want to age myself, but I think back to like Steve Potvin and Mike Yeo starting games for the Wolves, and it's chipped up and out into neutral ice. Heading after it is Coughlin, cross-scurry back for the Sioux Greyhounds, and he will control the puck, but pestered by number 9 of the Sudbury Wolves. Over center now, the Greyhounds will bring it into the Wolves zone. Around the left side and behind the net, puck goes back to the blue line. Shot right on, and a nice pad save, and a second stop that I believe Leonard might have got his glove on as it goes into the corner and now chipped out to center ice. Good chance for the Greyhounds in the early going. And that puck is going to go off the stick of Alex Ferrand and up into the crowd. We'll get our first stoppage in play.
I expect Trevor Odell to get a lot of ice time tonight. As a veteran on this particular blue line, he's going to be the guy who they're going to lean on this year as far as a presence to help guide along this young defense, most of whom are 17 years old right now.
Puck chipped at the Sudbury Wolves net. Nothing doing there, and it's going to get knocked out. May go for icing as it slides beside the Greyhounds net and will cross the line. So we'll have a stoppage and a face-off down to the left of goaltender Owen Leonard.
I'm looking forward to seeing this Sioux team up front here. They do have a number of very good rookies that have come up with Quinn McKenzie, Blake Aerosmith, who's been traded here from Niagara. And they do have a number of players, solid players like Callum Crosby, who are getting their first taste of the OHL.
Hudson Martin will ring it around on the far side, and it's chopped up high in the air, puck bouncing around inside the Wolves' blue line. They will control, and it's chopped down the ice, and we're going to have another icing call charged against the Sudbury Wolves, and we'll have another stoppage of play. Just 1 minute, 32 seconds into this contest. Not a lot of flow to the game so far, a little choppy, a couple of pucks fired toward the Wolves net, but not a lot of offense so far.
This is a case of the rookies getting the jitters out of the way. They got the first line on, which is Walton, Villeneuve, and Farron, but got to make these young defensemen learn how to break out of the zone, make a good pass.
Here's Ferrand inside the zone, pass across, a little too far for Villeneuve, and he gets bumped along the boards, chops it in deep. Walton comes in, bumps his man down low, and the Wolves trying to get their first attack on the Greyhound zone. Puck's going to bounce off Reggett's stick back into his own end. Shot from the point coming for the Greyhounds into traffic, and it's corralled by Sudbury. Here comes the big man, Kieran Walton, up to center, end of a shift. He will dump it in deep in back of the Sioux goal. Pass goes up to Sharon, but it's off his stick and down into the Wolves zone, and that'll be a icing call against the Greyhounds.
This is going to be our first look at a lot of these Wolves players, especially Vladimir Provorov, who has been the talk of camp, as a matter of fact. He's already first year 2008 player, already centering the second line, and we'll see if he looks out of place or not, but in other games he hasn't. He's looked like he's been in the league for 2 years already.
He's got a couple of more mature players on his line as well, playing on that second line with Chitteroni, who's a second-year winger, and then Jan Kovan, who comes to the Wolves via the import draft and is a pretty accomplished hockey player himself. Here's Chitteroni with a wrist shot right on. He scores! Just an innocent-looking wrist shot from Chitteroni, but you put the puck on the net, you never know what might happen, and somehow that just snuck in past goaltender Landon Miller.
Exactly right, Jeff. You got to put the puck on the net in order to score. That was just a very, like you said, it was a very innocent-looking shot, and just right between the wickets. That's a goal that I'm sure Landon Miller would like to have back, being a 19-year-old drafted player. That really should have just hit him. However, like I said, you do have goals like that, which, like I said, it's a good thing. The Wolves made a few good plays leading up to it, and they got rewarded.
Puck goes into the Sioux zone. Bremer with a bit of a hit on the boards. This is the fourth line. Braden Bennett, Wolves rookie, out there, has the puck, drops it back to Odell, doesn't get that far though, and the Greyhounds will have a chance to break it out. Dean, though, with some good back check, gets it to Bennett. Number 72 for the Wolves, the young rookie. He gives it away and neutralized. Here's a shot and a nice glove save by Owen Leonard, who snaps out that red glove to go along with his blue jersey and white pads, which may have to change if he's able to make the club.
Well, hey, we'll see what happens with making the club, but you know what? He does look to start the game at the very least, Owen Leonard looks very confident in that net.
Well, you just never know in preseason. You might have a plan, but if a 16-year-old goaltender stands on his head, you have tough decisions, and that's always what a coach and a GM want, is difficult decisions. So far, the young goaltenders look pretty good down there.
Absolutely, and goaltending is the hardest thing out of all hockey. I mean, goaltending is the hardest thing to predict. So if you find yourself a goalie who is strong and who looks sharp and everything, you keep that goalie, regardless of the plan. The plans, when it comes to goalies, change really quick.
Yeah, that's right. You don't get a lot of opportunities, and you have to make the most of the ones you do get. Now, I mean, a 16-year-old obviously has some time and space to develop his career, but for an older guy, it's tough. You can get beat out by a younger guy pretty quick, so you got to be on your toes at all times. Greyhounds able to keep it in at the Sudbury blue line. Brady Smith going back for it, and now it's banked off the boards out to center and chipped in by Chase Coughlin. Henderson will bump his man. Coughlin does the same, and Blake Clayton chasing after the puck for the Wolves, but the Greyhounds are going to get it out of the zone. Here's Hudson Martin, number 13 for the Wolves. Lucky 13, dumping it in deep. Coughlin in there, banging bodies, looking for pucks. Has it on the end boards, but the Greyhounds do a good job of corralling, and now it's going to be flipped out to center, where Cole Reggett will pick it up inside his own zone, and now up to center, over center ice, and Henderson will chip it in deep. Here come the Hounds. McKenzie with some good speed into the Sudbury zone, but loses the puck just as he enters over the blue line. Out to center now, and flipped back in by the Greyhounds. Here's Connors. Again, up over the blue line, or over the center ice line, I should say, near the blue line, and chipped in deep. Seems to be a trend for the Wolves as they're doing their best at getting pucks in deep here tonight. Ferran now from his own zone out to center. Nate Villeneuve kicks it ahead, right onto the stick of Blonda. And he gets a little hook, loses the puck, and now is on the back check. Greyhounds out front, and they fan on the shot. It's going to be flipped up to the blue line. Ferran from stick to skate, back to stick, and is able to get the puck across. Trevor Odell fires it in deep. Here's Allen for the Greyhounds. Ahead to Sharon on the right side. Quick pass outletted over center, and another one up to Smith on the far side. Chipped in deep. Smith and Smith out there for the Greyhounds. This is going to be a game, Ryan, where we're going to see if you hear me say Brady Smith a lot, don't be shocked. There are 3 of them in this hockey game, if you can imagine. 2 Brady Smiths on the Greyhounds and 1 on the Sudbury Wolves.
Yeah, you have to use their initials, I guess, on this one, won't you?
Yes. And there's a tip right in front, and the Greyhounds are going to tie the game.
Very good play by Hunter Solomon to get the puck on the net for the tip for the Greyhounds player who, here we go, Smith.
Yeah.
Here we go, Smith.
Smith from Smith. I don't know.
Smith from Solomon. Smith from Solomon. In this case, I don't know if the other Smith was on the ice, but
No, they're both out there. They both celebrated.
well, number 11 got the goal.
So
Number
Brady
13
T.
took the
Smith.
shot.
Brady T. Smith is the goal scorer. He's number 11. Brady R. Smith is number 12.
Yeah.
And then Brady Smith is on the Wolves side.
Exactly. No, that's what happens. He got away from whoever the defender was there and was able to pretty much be unmolested in front of the net for that tip-in.
Yeah, again, I mean, a pretty good example of both goals for either team, same sort of situation. If you shoot the puck, it might go in the net.
There we go, I think.
A little bit of buzz action here in our headphones, so Ryan doing a good job of fixing that. What I was trying to say is if you shoot the puck, it might go in the net. You look at the first goal for the Wolves that put them up 1-0. It's a Chitteroni shot that just sneaks through, and it's 1-0 Sudbury. And in that situation, you know, the puck just lands on a stick near the point. It's shot at the net, and bada boom, bada bing, tipped in, and it's a 1-1 hockey game.
Yeah, and you know what? The goalies are anticipating that they're going to be a little bit busy because there are some kinks to be worked out in systems on both teams and coverages to be worked out between the pairs of defenders or whatnot. So there's going to be some weird and wacky plays coming along for the rest of this game.
Yeah, it's preseason. You've got a mix of veterans that you know are going to be on your roster, and then of course some guys that have not played in the system before. They've practiced in it a little bit perhaps. Obviously hockey players at this level are pretty astute and have high hockey IQs, so they can figure out systems pretty fast, but at the same time figuring out what it is and actually executing it are different.
Absolutely.
Back to the point. Shot from the Greyhounds goes off a body. Here's a rebound, and it caroms to the back boards. Charlie Hilton in there for the Greyhounds, pinning the puck up against the boards inside the Wolves zone. And it's going to be ripped around the boards, but stays inside. Greyhounds not really getting it to the net, but doing a good job of not allowing the Wolves to get it out of their zone. Hudson Martin will play it around to the near side. It's going to go back to the point, but tipped and just out over the blue line with 7 minutes and 2 seconds gone in the first period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. The shots so far 4-1 in favor of the Greyhounds, so only one shot for the Wolves, and it went in the net.
So this is our first viewing of Hudson Martin here on Sudbury Wolves ice, but if you recognize the name, his father's Neil Martin, who played a few years for the Sudbury Wolves. Mm-hmm. So this is just like homecoming for Hudson, who's from Barrie these days.
Neil Martin, smooth skating defenseman from, I believe, Coniston, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
There's a shot, and that one just missed. The net moved, but it was the goaltender who moved it, not the puck. Puck comes all the way back into the Wolves zone. Here's Blonda. Stops on a dime behind his net. Tries to elude the defender, but unable to do that. Gets the puck again, though, and still being hounded by the Hounds. Ferrand will come in to help, and he's got a burst of speed. Out over his blue line. Dipsy doodling, makes a pass, and it's going to be dropped to the point. Walton struggling to control, and now it's going to be a breakaway the other way. Zwolenski in alone, shoots, and it goes wide on the glove side. It may have gone off the glove, but I think it was probably just pure wide.
Little panic in that breakaway, but Leonard stood him up very well.
Coughlin now inside the Greyhound zone. He gets dumped, gloves the puck, and as Ferrand touches it, that's going to be whistled down with 12 minutes to go in the opening period.
Yeah, some guys, what you notice a lot in the preseason and whatnot, there are some guys who are a little bit more confident than they should be with playing with the puck against some supposed rookie players. But some rookies are adjusting. Some players are a little bit better than you would think because you haven't seen them before, and that's when you get stripped for the puck. That's just the way it goes.
And in junior hockey, you're only a 4-year veteran once, right? So you have to learn how to be a 4-year veteran or a 3-year veteran or a returning guy that thinks maybe it's your time too. A guy coming back after a rookie season. So yeah, you're definitely right. A lot of adjustments. Here's Provorov for the Wolves. Chips it into the zone. A shot, and it goes off the goaltender. He's able to sweep it away. And now at the point. Across to Provorov. His shot off a body to Bennett. Provorov gets it again to Bennett. Bennett looking out front, tries to get it back to the point. It's tipped, but kept in nicely by Martin. And now the Greyhounds from deep in their zone are going to rip it down the ice.
This is an interesting look with Provorov on the point on the power play.
Yeah, he's definitely got the hands. Koven loses it at the blue line, and now Chitteroni's going to cycle it in deep. Wolves just not getting that full control here, at least not into a scoring position. Still behind the goal line, now out front. Here's a shot coming. It goes up and over the net off a stick. Koven dumped in behind the Sioux goal. And now the Greyhounds are going to have it go off a stick. And here comes Sharon down the wing. Partial break, chips it, but high over the net. Leonard standing his ground on that one. Puck gets wristed around, but not out. On net. And Leonard is able to make an easy save. I mean, that wasn't really a high-end scoring chance, just kind of a shot from the point. But what you notice about the way he gloved that is he just did it with such confidence.
He knew where it was going, he knew what was happening. He just, yeah, I've been here before, that's all right.
Yeah.
Wolves still in the power play. Oh, no, power play's over.
Face off to the left of Owen Leonard. Kaczynski in there for the Greyhounds. Kieran Walton for the Wolves, and Walton wins it clean. Back to Connors. Up on the right side, here's Bennett chipping it off the boards to the Greyhounds' blue line. And it's going to be Gillen in the corner. And now back of the Sioux Greyhounds net. Around to the near side. Hilton will chip it off the boards, but the Wolves control. Connors up to Walton. Walton over to Ethan Dean. Ethan Dean into the far corner. Flips it off the back of the net. And now there's a bunch of bodies in back of the Sioux goal. It's chopped toward the point. Connors will pinch and keeps it in. Gillen now in the corner, goes off the referee's skate, but the Greyhounds are going to clear it at least to the blue line and then wrapped right back in there by Connors. Up to center for the Greyhounds. Muxlow. A pass across to nobody, and Blonda will pick up speed over center, over the Greyhounds' blue line, into the zone. Turns and is going to chip it off the boards to Henderson in back of the goal. Henderson controlling it there. Some good footwork along the end boards. Will get it back to the point. Blonda had good speed backing up, but lost the puck. And now out at center, it'll be Brown. Brown with a shot blocked by Trevor Odell. We've seen that story before. Coughlin down the left side. Can't get it to the net. Takes a bit of a hit up high. And the Greyhounds bench reacts to that. Brown will pick it up at the hash marks inside his own zone for the Greyhounds. Now Allen around to the other side as the Greyhounds make some nice passes to break it out of their zone. Up over center. It's going to be 22 Eric Muxlow getting it deep, but the Wolves will control. Sudbury's version of Brady Smith up to Nathan Villeneuve. Villeneuve with some nice moves, controlling the puck, tries to get it out front, and it's off a stick and goes back behind the goal line. Ferran now back on the boards to Smith. Smith risks it toward the net, and that will be scooped up by Landon Miller. Face off to his right with 8:18 to go in the first period. A 1-1 score. The shot's now 5-3 in favor of the Sioux Greyhounds.
Yeah, so now this game's moving a little bit quicker. You got your jitters out of the way. There's not as many icings. Making a few more plays on both ends, and we're already at 8 minutes left in the game, which is always in the period, which is always a good thing. So it's nice to see the guys figure it out together, regardless of who happens to be on the ice. They're figuring out the passes. They're getting to know each other. This is a good thing.
And off the face-off, it'll come all the way back into the Sudbury zone. It's going to be chipped off the boards where Kieran Walton picks it up. Lead pass to Ferran. Can't get away from his man, but the puck bounces off skates and ends up right in the crease. Easily covered, though, by Miller.
Very good heads-up play there to spot Ferran on the breakaway. Good play by the Sioux defenseman, too. So we're seeing a little bit more both ways as far as good plays going on or whatnot. For a rookie to make that play to tie up an overager like that, that's going to make him look good in the coach's eyes for sure.
Absolutely, yep. Ferran tried to kind of stop and pivot around him, but wasn't able to do so, and then the puck just slid all the way into the crease. Provorov wins a draw for the Wolves. Reggett will backhand it in deep. Kovan goes back for it. Chitteroni now with a reverse hit on Gillen. Puck comes out front, but it's on a Greyhound stick. Provorov digging for it, unable to get it, and now the Greyhounds bring it out. Andrew to Gillen. And chopped back out to center. And that is actually going to go all the way for icing. So we'll get another stoppage.
It's good to see some of the, again, like I'm talking about before, it's good to see some of these guys get some ice. Connor's had a really good debut last year when he played against North Bay in the last game of the season. Wasn't expecting him to necessarily be here to play, but now that the rules have changed as far as the NCAA goes, it's nice to see players like him come up and, you know what, look like he belongs and make a little bit of an impact. I will say something about training camp. It was one of the most competitive training camps we've had, and the spots for this team are still up for grabs. Yeah,
it's the beauty of having a lot of open spots. You know, you've got a few guys that are obviously confirmed that you know are going to be back for sure, but quite a few open spots, and that makes it very competitive. Provorov will bring it into the Greyhound zone. Looking for someone to pass to, didn't find anyone, so he just dumped it in as the Wolves were on a bit of a line change. Allen loses it now, and here's Dean chasing after the puck. Ethan Dean can't get around his man. Bramer will shoot it out front, comes back to the point. Blonda into traffic. A wrist shot goes wide. Blonda will pick it up side of the net. Gets it back to Bennett, back to Blonda. And he loses the puck as the Greyhounds bring it up to the Sudbury line. They're offside, so they'll have to wait and backtrack. And now it's going to be deflected into the Sudbury end. Leonard pokes it back behind the net. Shot out front, but right on the stick of Braden Bennett for the Wolves. Sudbury will break it out of its zone. Odell off a stick and deep into the Greyhound zone. Sharon can't reach it for the Sioux, but eventually picks it up and fires it across. Goes all the way into the Sudbury zone. Puck bounces. There's a shot right on. And Leonard had to be careful on that one as the puck just bounced its way to the net. Ethan Dean on the left side flips it out, and we'll have an icing.
And that's the thing that happens in a lot of games, especially on first time out, first time on the ice. The ice hasn't really been in here for that long, and he hasn't really been skated in a game. You're going to get a lot of bounces. Sometimes at the beginning of periods, puck's going to stick. You have a number of things that could possibly happen to you. So good for Leonard to be on the ball in that play. That puck just, that was perfectly on Blonda's stick, and it just took that unlucky little bounce.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you that it's, 30 degrees outside on September 5th and that they have to take care of the ice because of the weather. That's not really the case. As I was driving here tonight, I believe it was 13 at, whatever time that was, 5:36. So, yeah, it's definitely that time of year.
Yes, it's great fall weather. We know this is hockey season coming up, or at least the beginning of hockey season. The guys driving up to Timmins on Wednesday didn't feel that way. They drove right through the rain. They felt it was monsoon time.
Yeah.
They're in a whole different continent for that one. But yeah, this is a perfect fall day for hockey.
5:40 to go in the opening period. A 1-1 tie between the Greyhounds and the Wolves. OHL exhibition action. Greyhounds winning on home ice against the Wolves last week by a score of 3-1. And the Wolves looking to return the favor here tonight. Out at center, Coughlin will dump it in deep. Henderson goes after it, hits his man along the end boards. Gillen for the Greyhounds on the near side, gets it up to his man, and now brought into the Sudbury zone by the Greyhounds. Kaczynski with a shot right on. Leonard a save, makes another save from a bad angle shot, and the Wolves are able to get a hold of it and flip it out. The Greyhounds definitely have some speed like they always do.
Well, they've got speed right all, like you say always, but they got it right through the lineup, whether it's one of their new first rounders or whether it's their 19-year-old forwards. Doesn't matter, they're all coming at you the same way.
They come at you in waves. Good job by Brady Smith for the Wolves to get it out. Ferran with some speed through the zone. And we'll get it into the Greyhound zone, but just as quickly, the Sioux able to bring it out. Muxlow down the right side, flips it into the middle. And a big hit by Villeneuve on his man. We may be getting a penalty on the play, though. I don't think it's the Villeneuve hit, but there's a hold coming up.
I missed that one, but apparently that's going to be on Alex Ferran.
Might have been on the back check, grabbing his guy heading toward the Wolves net. So with 4:15 to go in the opening period, the Wolves will go to their first penalty kill. Greyhounds' first power play of the hockey game. Wolves are 0 for 1. Greyhounds get a 2-minute opportunity here. Face off to the left of Owen Leonard in the Sudbury net. McKenzie on the draw for the Greyhounds. Against Clayton for the Wolves. Clayton is able to win it, and the Wolves quickly ice the puck.
Clayton and Henderson were a top penalty killing duo for the Wolves last year. Hopefully the momentum continues. They were a tough duo to play against for any team.
Yeah, not just great on the penalty kill, but also a threat to score most times they're on the ice, 5-on-4.
And you couldn't have predicted that last year as two rookies, but boy, oh boy, have they come in. Did they ever find their niche?
Greyhounds controlling the puck on the outside. Cross ice pass goes off Odell's stick. And the Greyhounds will control. Kaczynski, his shot, deflection, nice save by Leonard to read that one. As the deflection went up high, he had to get that right shoulder up. Kaczynski across, puck was in the air and bounces off the sideboards. Back to the point now. And there's a shot that's ripped high and wide. Very high and very wide. Krosker, he loses it at the Sudbury blue line, and he'll have to backtrack. Down to 57 seconds remaining in the Greyhounds power play. Kaczynski, dipsy doodling. Puck goes off a Wolves skate. It'll slide to the blue line, but not quite out. Brown has it in his feet for the Hounds. Kaczynski seems to be everywhere. He's got the puck, looks to the blue line. There'll be a shot, and they score. Croskery from the point. I don't know if Leonard saw that one, but it beats him low on the glove side, and the Greyhounds have a 2-1 lead.
I don't think Leonard saw that at all. There's a lot going on, traffic in front of the net, guys trying to move their players and whatnot. But Kaczynski for a first-round pick, and he's this year's one of Sioux's 2 first-round picks this year. You know, he looks like he belongs. He looks like he's a vet right now. We'll see what happens when the real games start going on or whatnot. But some of these players look impressive, and Croskery is a first-year player as well. 17-year-old. He was second-round pick last year. Probably could have went in the first round, but college concerns didn't let that happen. But now that the rules have changed again with the NCAA, everyone's coming. So this is good to see.
Pad save by Leonard, as the Greyhounds aren't satisfied with a 2-1 lead. They're coming right back at the Wolves. Here's Odell up to Chitteroni. Chitteroni with a move inside his zone will break it out. Over center now, has to chip it in deep as the Greyhounds swarmed him. And he goes after it, gets his own puck. Kovan fighting for it in the near corner. And he's going to win that battle. Chitteroni flips it out front, but there's no Wolf there. And now the Greyhounds will bank it out off the boards and out. Blonda to Odell, up to Chitteroni. Here's Provorov now with a shot from the right of the goaltender, and it's off the glove and to the back boards. Hilton now for the Greyhounds will chip it out. And right back in for Sudbury. But on a white stick, and the Greyhounds are able to get it out. Shot right on. Leonard had to make a bit of a dangerous save there as the puck floated through on net. Now the Wolves will come back the other way, but Kieran Walton can't control. It's on his stick and off it just as quick. Coughlin sends it in deep. Walton with some hustle and a big hit on Gillen down in the corner. Sorry, make that Allen, not Gillen.
It looks about the same.
Yeah. The name looks the same from afar.
Absolutely.
Puck dangerously off the glass up high for the Wolves, but they get it out. And now shot right back the other way by the Greyhounds, and that should be icing. We're down under a minute, 57.9 seconds to go in this opening period. 2-1 in favor of the Greyhounds, and quite frankly, they deserve to be up a goal. Out shooting the Wolves by a count of 12-4. They've definitely had the better chances, and you know, you said it, a lot of their rookies looked fantastic tonight. Now, it is exhibition, it's preseason. Players like Villeneuve and Walton, you know, they're going to pro camps. They're not going to be giving you every set of blood, sweat, and tears that they have. But, you know, they're getting themselves ready for the season. Absolutely. Other guys are still trying to make a team.
Yes, that's exactly it. And they're giving a good account of themselves. The Sioux team looks like they've mastered their systems a little bit. They're making a little bit shorter passes and whatnot. And then when they're in trouble, they just dump it out. Wolves are still trying to kind of figure it out a little bit, but I suspect that there'll be some line juggling and whatnot as the game goes on.
Puck deep inside the Wolves zone. Villeneuve has it. Will chip it up to Reggett, who gets it over to Coughlin, and off the stick of Walton on the left side, but he's going to knock it over into the Sioux bench, basically, and we'll have a face-off just outside the Greyhounds' blue line.
So this is a good, you know what, but this is a good pace to the game. The guys are moving. The Wolves' young defense right now is learning a little bit and having to move their feet a little bit and deal with the fact that they're playing against a very fast team, right? Something they haven't experienced in Junior A or Triple A or anything like that.
Absolutely. See if the Wolves can do anything with the last 10 seconds here, and the answer is no. As McKenzie chips it out, the Greyhounds will bring it into the Wolves zone. With 3 seconds to go, this period is going to run out. A little bit of pushing and shoving down along the boards inside the Wolves zone. Odell involved. I can't see who the Sioux player is. Looks like it might be Aerosmith. Just let them know they're in a hockey game. Sioux and Sudbury always going to be chippy, always going to be entertaining, and might as well start the rivalry on September 5th.
There's always something going on between the players of these two teams, and then of course Sudbury North Bay will always have the same thing going on as well. But you know what, they're in different conferences, and it still doesn't matter. They still don't like each other. It doesn't matter. Win against the Sioux is always a great thing, whether it's exhibition season or whether it's in March. It doesn't matter. Always happy. Different
conferences, it won't matter from a standings perspective against each other necessarily, but you do play more games as a geographic rival. They're 3 hours down the road, and you know, it's the battle of the North, if you will, along with North Bay. So it's a 2-1 score. The Greyhounds leading after 1 period of play. Sioux out shooting Sudbury by a count of 12-4, and you know, I think they are fully deserving of that 1-goal lead through 20 minutes.
Oh, they're definitely fully deserving of that 1-goal lead. They've had the run of play. They've had the better chances. If not for Owen Leonard, it could be easily 3-4-1.
Absolutely. See what we get in period 2. We'll be back with Wolves hockey on YouTube and Facebook for second period puck drop. post-match in action here at the Sudbury Community Arena, and through 20 minutes, it's the Sioux Greyhounds with a 2-1 lead on the hometown Sudbury Wolves. Probably not the best period for the Wolves, and I would expect that as they head left to right in our headsets in this second period, you're going to get a better effort from the team in blue.
Probably a better effort, maybe some more passes put together too. Like you mentioned before, they're trying to do the dump and chase or whatnot, so maybe they'll be a little bit more confident to make some passes. One of the things I noticed that coming from the defensive zone, there weren't a lot of clean, crisp passes, so maybe they're going to make some adjustments, maybe change up some lines, make some adjustments, and our second period will look better for us.
It's going to be Alex Ferran on the face-off for the hometown Wolves, and at the other end, Christopher Brown for the Sioux Greyhounds. And as we get set to drop a puck, there's some sort of a delay here. Well, they're just running off the last 12 seconds, I guess, before the clock can reignite.
There you go.
Timing for the referees and everyone else is a little off. It's exhibition. Even that has to get worked out before the season starts.
Listen, we're in our training camp. As far as announcing and whatnot, we're in our training camp too.
There you go. And the Greyhounds will win the face-off, seemingly, but Kieran Walton almost had a shot on net out of it. And now the Hounds will bring it up to the blue line. Would have been offside, but Trevor Odell able to get it out for Sudbury. Cross ice to Villeneuve. Bounces it off his stick to the boards and flips it to the slot, but it's on a Greyhound stick and they will bring it out. Here comes Volensky. Tried to drop the puck to Brown, but it goes off a skate. They battle along the hash marks along the board. Villeneuve for Sudbury. Stops in his zone. Little dump pass to Odell, who gets it up to Ferran, but it's slapped off his stick back to the Wolves' blue line. And now up to neutral ice. Ferran, 3-on-2. In the high slot with a shot, rips it wide. And they can't find it initially, but puck sort of bounces free. Greyhounds will get it up to their blue line and out. Here comes Aerosmith. Quick low shot right on. Owen Leonard, the Wolves rookie goalie, able to push it aside. Walton to center, flips it in the zone. Vladimir Provorov with the puck. Along the near boards, gets it to the blue line. Cross ice. Kovan from a bad angle puts it toward the net, and it bounces over Provorov's stick. Kovan gets it again. Behind the goal, looking out front for someone to pass to, goes back to the blue line. Shot bounces off a Greyhound, and a partial break here as the shot goes on Leonard. He's able to make the save. Rebound, and the puck just slides through the crease and out the right side.
Leonard with the second and third save there. That was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive for him to get across the crease like he did.
Absolutely. Backhand weak from Kovan, goes wide. Blonda will chip it in deep. Comes back to him from the slot, shot right on, and Landon Miller able to make the save.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see. We're watching Luca Blonda get a lot of ice so far, and he has some bit more confidence as far as trying to take the puck through players or whatnot. Sometimes he loses it, but he wins it a lot more than he has been last year. Last year was a really good adjustment year for him. This year he's looking a little bit more confident with the puck, getting in the right areas, learned when to make the chips and when to skate with it. So hopefully that development will continue for Luca.
Sure it will, as it does for every young player, especially a guy like that with all that speed and skill. It just takes time to figure out where your spot is.
That's right, that's right. And you know what? Oh.
One of the Smiths for the Greyhounds. Gets it on net, but not a lot of mustard on it. There's a shot. Leonard makes a glove save, but it bounces out. And the Wolves are going to clear it up the center. Coughlin knocks it down, but onto a Greyhound stick. His man is bouncing around. The Greyhounds player, though, able to get it out to center. Here's Sharon now over the Wolves' blue line. Into the middle. Spins to Smith. His shot up high and wide. Coughlin will pick it up on the far side. He's bumped off the puck, but stays with it. And now the Wolves are going to get a chance. Here's Rowan Henderson. Tried to get it across to Coughlin, but it's off a stick, and the Greyhounds break it out the other way. Some decent end-to-end action here, which we haven't seen too much of in this game. There's a shot off the side of the net by Allen. Croskery for the Hounds with a shot right on. And Leonard is going to hold on for a face-off. We've played 3:15 here in the second period, and it's still a 2-1 lead for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, the Wolves are getting a little bit hemmed into their own zone after that back and forth or whatnot. Just the puck's bouncing the wrong way. But good thing about that is you can see the play of Owen Leonard is pretty solid right now. He's made those 3 saves in a row. His positioning is good. That last save, he got his pad on it at the last second. Just finally found it in the crowd.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about the Wolves having a mostly veteran lineup here tonight. They're down 2-1, but it isn't the rookie goaltender's fault by any stretch of the imagination. The shots are 17-5 for the Greyhounds.
Well, if anything, he's the one keeping them into the game.
Exactly. Wolves have the puck in the Greyhound zone. It's kind of bouncing around here. Ethan Dean will send it back of the Hounds net. Slid around to the boards. Martin pinches and is able to keep it in. Bremer flips it out, but Bennett was all tied up in front of the Greyhounds net and couldn't get a stick on it. Greyhounds are going to get it up to the blue line, and now they'll skate it out. Croskery is able to rip it in deep. Puck goes around the boards to the far side and flip back of the net as the Greyhounds make a change. Martin with the puck. A pass up on the right side for Bremer, and he's able to get it out to center ice, but no further. Greyhounds bring it back in. Banked off the boards to the blue line, a shot right on. Here's the rebound, and oh, wow. Somehow the Wolves kept that out. It appeared as though there was going to be an empty net backhand, but somehow Leonard and his defense able to keep it out of the net.
Yeah, Hudson Martin with a great play there to keep that out of the net. Martin had a pretty good shift there, actually. He saved that goal, and he made some, I was talking earlier about the breakout passes. He's the one who's been putting the breakout passes on the tape. So he has had a pretty good shift and saving a goal as well. And Leonard was kind of left out to dry there for a second, but he made the complete right play. He did what he could do on that play, and that enabled Martin to cover up for him, which was really well done.
So the puck was dropped, and then there was a buzz. I don't know that that was a significant one. Sometimes that could happen, I guess, if the puck had crossed the line. It clearly didn't. And we're going to have a face-off to the left of Leonard.
Well, one thing we don't have tonight is review cameras, so it's not something they can really call on or whatever to say, okay, that was in, that wasn't in. And in the preseason, we generally don't use them anyway.
Right.
So hopefully, like I say, as maybe next week we'll get all the equipment in and start getting it used and do a dry run before the regular season starts on the 19th.
Puck flipped over the boards by Alex Ferran. We'll have a face-off down deep in the Sudbury zone. 15:05 to go in the second period. 2-1 Greyhounds still leading all the scoring in the first period. Both teams getting set for their regular season as we're still in the thick of the exhibition campaign. The Wolves' first game of the regular season will be on Friday, September the 19th, here at home against the North Bay Battalion. Sudbury will bring it in. Sioux native, Hudson Chitteroni, flipping it out front. And there's a shot, they score! Provorov from the slot, and it's a 2-2 hockey game.
Great movement by Chitteroni on that goal to get the puck to Provorov. And Provorov, just like he looked in training camp or whatnot, it doesn't take him long to get that puck to the top corner. Really quick release on Provorov.
Yeah, that's a heck of a shot. Puck lands on his stick, it was on and off quick. And inside, I believe it went off the post or crossbar, glove side on the goaltender.
It was high up and it was quick. The goalie had no chance on that shot.
Goal will come at 5:13 of the second period, and it's a brand new hockey game. Puts a little life in the building, and you would think maybe a little bit of life in the Wolves bench as well.
All it takes is one shot, and you have somebody skilled like Provorov taking those shots. You can change the game in a hurry.
Absolutely. Heck of a shot from the young man. The Wolves definitely have some high-end talent on the roster that fans didn't see last year, so that's going to be interesting to see as the season progresses. We get a face-off down to the right of Owen Leonard. It's going to be Coughlin and Kaczynski on the draw. Puck goes to the sideboards, batted at by Croskery at the blue line, but Clayton gets it and ahead to Rowan Henderson. He tried to hit a pinching Hudson Martin. Wasn't able, and now the puck will come around on the near boards. Hounds are going to break it out. Martin rips it around all the way to center. Henderson with a hit. Now Coughlin goes one-on-one. Inside the zone. Manhandled a little bit. Bounces off the side post and then falls into the boards. He's looking for a penalty on the play, but isn't going to get one. And there's a shot by the Greyhounds from the high slot. A fairly light floating wrist shot, and Leonard is able to make the save. That will be stop number 16 in the game for Owen Leonard, who not sure if he's going to play the whole game or if he's maybe only going to get half, being that it's a preseason game. But if he is getting half, he's about .358 away from hitting the showers.
Well, the first couple of games of the year, they're both goalies made half games. Both goalies look very good in both games. So goaltending right now is pretty solid at the moment. So we'll see what if Carson Chartier does indeed come in the net. And that third line that was on for the Wolves, like, they're going to be an absolute pain to play against, right? With Clayton and Henderson hounding people. Coughlin's a freight train when it comes to going to the net and hitting people or whatnot. That's not going to be a fun group to play against at all.
Well, and they have the opportunity to be one of those third lines that can play like a 1 or a 2 any given night. I mean, you look at even tonight in an exhibition game, they're listed as the third line, but who started? It's right. That line, right? You're trying to set a tone and get the bench going, because those guys are always going to be tenacious.
And you raise a good point. Like, they are listed as third line, but they don't have to be a third line. They can be a second line, they can be a first line. Just depends on who's going on the night and depends what you need.
Absolutely. Wolves in their own zone. It's going to be slid out to center, but the Greyhounds will have a chance to bring it right back in, and they do. Behind the Sudbury net, Blondo with quickness that he has getting to the puck. It's just out to the blue line, but not quite all the way out. And here comes the Wolves version of Brady Smith. Getting it ahead now, Bennett. Sudbury's rookie digging along the boards along with, well, just about everybody on the ice.
Kind of looks like Tykes here a little bit.
Yeah. And it's flipped from the Wolves blue line to Leonard in the Sudbury net, and he will easily glove that floating puck for another stoppage.
I make that comment in jest, but sometimes you do see like 6-7 guys at a time in the corner. 2 guys digging, 2 guys setting up on the outside, waiting for the puck to pop out somewhere or whatnot. So it's actually smart play. It just looks like when they're all trying to jam at each other, it looks a little different. That's all.
Yep. Here's Reggett in the Sudbury zone. Up to Walton, who got a stick on it to prevent an icing. Greyhounds with a bit of control here along the boards, but Wolves with a good forecheck. Fran knocks his man down. Walton in the other corner trying to dig at it, but it appears as though the Sioux will have a chance to bring it out. Here comes Blake Aerosmith down the right side. His shot goes wide, but the Greyhounds are going to keep it in. Andrew across to Aerosmith along the boards, but he gives that away to Villeneuve. Now it's a 3-on-2 the other way. Villeneuve to Ferrand. Across to Walton. Walton to Villeneuve. A shot, and somehow he missed the open net. Martin back at the point to Ferrand. To Walton. And that one's in the air. Martin had pinched in off the point, but couldn't bat it out of the air, and it comes all the way back to the Sudbury zone. So probably the best, most exciting chances for the Wolves tonight in this game.
I can't believe he missed that. I don't know how he missed that.
Yeah, it's hard to see from this angle, but definitely tic-tac-toe passing. Wolves bring it in again. Here's Hudson Martin again. And he's going to rip a wrist shot right into the Greyhound on the chest of Landon Miller between the pipes for the Greyhounds. 2-2 hockey game, 12:02 to go here in the second period.
And I was talking about Hudson Martin before. I'm going to be talking about him again. He looks like he's gaining a lot of confidence, jumping into plays, making the passes. And you know what, being confident enough to take that shot. He had a 2-on-1 right there. I mean, he could have passed or whatever, but you know what, you're confident enough to take that shot and see what you can do against a 19-year-old experienced goalie. So it's good to see the confidence picking up in him and hopefully the others as the game goes along.
Well, you know, Dad played the same way, right? He just had the great feet, and as he gained experience in the league, was able to do the same kind of thing, just be a player that would seem like he was everywhere. A giveaway and a shot by Brady Smith of the Greyhounds.
Hudson's
But a
lucky.
nice save.
Hudson's lucky. His mom can skate pretty well too. She was a rep ringette player, and she was a very good skater as well. So he couldn't have missed out on the genes when it comes to skating.
Yeah, exactly. There's a shot, and another shot by Provorov, looking for his second of the night, but Miller able to make the save. Puck slid through the slot. Martin will keep it in. All of a sudden, Hudson Martin getting a lot of ice. There's another shot on net by Provorov. Man, he is in the right spots. Number 97, the rookie for the Wolves. Really finding his game here. Has the puck at the blue line. Sends it on net, but it's off legs, and the Greyhounds will break it out. Brady R. Smith with the puck. Lost it at the Wolves' blue line, and now Henderson is going to go after it. Henderson circling in the zone. Over to Clayton. Clayton in back of the net. Looks to the point. His pass to the point, not hard enough. Picked off by Hilton, and he'll come back the other way. Little battle inside the Wolves' zone. Zwolenski gets it, but he gives it away. And the Wolves can't get it out. Here's a pass, a shot, and a big save by Leonard. From point-blank range, Owen Leonard makes another huge stop for the Sudbury Wolves. The rookie looking fantastic in that Sudbury net. Croskery, top of the circle, shot right on, another save, and the rebound goes in. I jinxed the kid. Just as we said, he was playing amazing. He makes a nice save, and the rebound, not really his fault, clearly. But it's just Johnny on the spot, and a backhand into the back of the net. The Greyhounds restore the lead. It's 3-2 for the Sioux.
Yeah, and you know what? He's still playing great. He made some great saves there. There was no, there's not much he could have done about it as far as that goes. So, I mean, and beforehand, like, he made a few other saves as we were going along. So that'll be the end for Owen Leonard tonight. And now we see Curtin Charche coming in. Of course, as we discussed before, this is no fault of Leonard. He's had a great game, but it's just Charche's turn to come in. We're talking about what happened here at the goal. So there was 3 segments where we could have cleared the puck out of the zone, and a little too fancy with the puck. Sometimes you got to just put it off the boards, or just, you know what, there's no play there for yourself. Sometimes you just got to look ugly and get out of the zone. They had 3 chances to do that. That's what happens, and that's something that they're going to learn as the year goes along.
Goalie can only bail you out so many times. So Carson Charche in the net for the Sudbury Wolves, and like Ryan said, the timing is awkward. The goal goes in at 10-12, or with 10-12 to go in the second period. It's not that he got yanked, it's just that he got pulled as scheduled due to a timing issue. It's halfway through the game. Back of the Greyhounds net. They will bank it up the boards. And here they come with that trademark speed. Brown over the blue line. Lost the puck. It's chipped out over the Sudbury line, but knocked right back in by Keegan Gillen. Hudson Martin able to chip it up. And it goes off a body and into the Sudbury bench, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 9:15 to go in period 2.
And I suspect now, I was just watching the defensive pairs or whatnot. I suspect now they're going to mix them up a little bit, see who fits with who. A lot of these players are new to the team, as far as you know. You have vets like Blonda and Odell, but a lot of these guys are, you know what, 10 games or less in the league. So now they're going to see where everybody fits. I expect to see some juggling that Jake Berhouse's going to do. So we're going to see where everybody fits, as we should in an exhibition game.
Yeah, and in exhibition, you've got to put guys in tough spots. You challenge them. You see how they respond to certain situations that they might not even be used to, or you're trying to figure out exactly where they'll slot into the lineup, or if they'll slot into the lineup at all.
Right. Well, sometimes, like when you come out of AAA or Junior A and you're coming into the OHL, you're a power play specialist. Well, sometimes you got to kill a penalty. That's what's available, so it's got to be done.
And it happens all the way up to the top league, right? You look at a kid like Derek McKenzie, who,
right.
Perfect example of that player who at this level was a superstar, who got 100 points plus and 50 goals or 40 goals, whatever it was. And, you know, he goes down and toils in the minors for quite a while, but never gives up. Heart of a lion, and just finds his way onto an NHL team. But he had to reinvent himself, and to your point, that can happen here too, where you think you're a goal scorer, but you ain't going to make the top 6, so you got to find another way to contribute.
Or even stay in the lineup in some cases,
Or
right?
stay in the lineup, yeah. Chartier will control that loose puck. 8:55 to go. The Wolves, as mentioned, will open their season on September 19th at home against North Bay, 7:05 start. They'll finish that weekend in Niagara for a 2 o'clock start on Sunday. And then it's 3 more on the road the following week. Thursday the 25th in Windsor, Friday the 26th in Sarnia, and Saturday the 27th in Brantford. That is a heck of a start to the season.
That is a grind.
Nice pad save and a rebound, and the Greyhounds will pop another one in. It's 4-2.
Looks like the group just wasn't ready from the puck drop. They're a little asleep there, but that happens.
Yeah, right off.
Showing the replay off the on the jumbotron here, and that happens. The puck, you know what? You make the save, and the puck just goes to the right spot for you to put it in the net.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Greyhounds are making ridiculous end-to-end rushes and scoring on 2-on-1s. It's just, you know, off a face-off, kind of a nothing play, but it's a shot on net, and they just hustle there first.
Yep, get it on the nets, get it at the nets. You know, do all the little things right.
One of the Brady Smiths with the puck deep in the Sudbury zone again. Chitteroni will stop it on the boards, gets it to Blonda, and he's got some speed up over the line. His pass doesn't connect with Provorov, who one-hands at the puck but can't get it in deeper. They will keep it in, though, and Chitteroni now has it in the near corner. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Finds Kovan to Provorov, but he lost it, and puck comes out to center. Provorov across and quickly up to Chitteroni. Chitteroni to Kovan. His shot, short side, just a little bit inside the post. Kovan to Provorov. Provorov toward the side of the net. His shot up high. And as Miller comes across, his shoulder hits the right post and will knock it off its moorings, so we're going to have a stoppage in play. Landon Miller's still in the net, 7:53 to go in period number 2, so it would seem that he's probably going to play the whole game for the Greyhounds.
Oh, almost certainly. Like last time it was their backup goalie tonight, William Campataro, who did play the whole game. That was his first experience in the OHL. Now the Greyhounds do have 3 goalies on the roster, so we'll see how that's going to shake out for them as well.
Tends to be a thing where if you have an established guy you know is going to be your number 1, you don't want him playing half games. You want him to get used to playing that full game.
That's right.
A little different if you're holding on to more players and trying to get everybody in, get them some action.
Yeah, well, with the Sioux, like their battle is the backup goalie right now. That's
Right.
their battle. And Sudbury is just trying to figure out its goalie situation, because you do have 4 guys who can legitimately play here.
Yeah. Wolves have it in the Sioux zone. Down 4-2 now with 7:23 to go in the second. Henderson on the end boards out front to Coughlin. Couldn't get it to the forehand. And again, the net comes off. And it looks as though the Wolves knocked it off. The referee's going to point out to neutral ice, I think, although the players aren't leaving.
Now they're waiting for direction. It's looks like that face-off's going to be inside.
I don't know what he was pointing at. Looked to me like he was pointing out outside the line, but he might have been pointing at a player.
Yeah, so I guess the linesmen and the referees have judged that the Sudbury player was indeed pushing to the net.
There you go. So face off to the right of Miller in the Greyhounds goal. Provorov at center for Sudbury, along with Kovan and Chitteroni. But it's going to be the Greyhounds that win the faceoff and break it out quickly. Inside the zone, Kovan picks it up though and gets it quickly ahead to Provorov, who puts it through the feet of Chitteroni, and as a result, it's going to be turned up ice. Laus will knock it in deep. Reggett for the Wolves, back inside his own zone. Gets it through the referee and the Greyhounds player, but it comes right back inside the zone. Here's Provorov now. Up ahead to Kovan. Puck lost by the Wolves. Zvolensky into the Wolves zone, floats it into the net, and a little pad save there by Carson Chartier in the Sudbury net now. Wolves will go off on a line change. Greyhounds bring it up. Round to center. Chips it in. Too far for the goalie to play, so Odell goes and picks it up. He's manhandled along the boards. And here's Braden Bennett. Talented Wolves rookie up to center. It's tipped in deep. Doesn't... Well, it goes down inside the Greyhound zone. Dean gets knocked down, and the puck will fly back behind the goal line. Odell now. Battling for it down low. Greyhounds able to flip it out. Bennett will go back for it. And now drops it to Hudson Martin. Out to center and inside the zone. Bremer, but that's going to be offside.
And some of these players are looking a lot better on the ice as we go, and I'm starting to see where a guy like Trevor Odell is going to be able to step up and provide some veteran leadership, some much-needed defenseman qualities on the blue line for somebody with his size and knowledge. Good hockey IQ, saving the puck in the corner over here, pinching in, doing what he has to do. Not flashy, not overly noticeable, but just things that keep the puck out of your net and, you know what, move the puck up the ice.
Yeah, kind of defenseman you like come playoff time. And you can see, you know, last year he definitely got a lot of ice, developed well. He was a bit skinny, you know, a bit of a slight kid. You can see he's filled out a little bit now as he becomes more of a veteran player, and that those extra few pounds will help him as he progresses through the season.
He's come a long way since the beginning of last year. We weren't sure if he was going to be on the team, what his role was going to be, if he was the 6th or 7th guy, but he worked hard. He carved himself out a niche, and coaching staff trusted him after a while, and he kept moving up the lineup to a point where he wasn't going to be a scratch.
It's a good opportunity for him tonight. He's kind of the veteran in the group here, and you know, you have a couple of veteran defensemen who aren't in the lineup, so he gets to have that opportunity to be the guy. Greyhounds will bring it in. Andrew with a shot, and Chartier got his glove on that. It went up and over the net. Greyhounds will stay on it. Through the slot, out the other side, Ferran now. Picks up a loose puck, around to Martin. Martin gets those wheels going, up to Ferran. Across to Villeneuve. Martin, or Blonda will pinch. Puck goes across. Walton tried to find him in front. Blonda was on the doorstep, but couldn't get him the puck. And now it's floated out knuckleball-like to center, and the Greyhounds will dump it in. But it's going to be offside as Croskery touches it. Down to 4:52 remaining in period 2. The Greyhounds up 4-2 in this hockey game.
Something I got to mention here, because we are looking at numbers and not always reading them right or whatnot. All the uniforms are now done by Under Armour. So now you have a different font to the numbers. If you look very closely, sometimes the numbers look a little bit different. They look like they're bigger blocks. So fans, watch out for that this year. Just make sure what's what here. I don't know what you guys think of the new numbers and the new Under Armour uniforms, but the players seem to like them, so hopefully you do as well.
Wolves will bring it into the zone. Coughlin along the boards, flips it out front, and they score! A horrible angle for Chase Coughlin, and he just floats it toward the crease. It may have bounced off something, but it appears as though the goal will be number 9, Chase Coughlin.
He bounced off of Miller, leaning out too much a little bit on the on his post. Coughlin did the smart thing, just put it on the net. That's what we've been saying all night. Just put the puck on the net. He put it at the net. We see it on the Jumbotron here. They don't show the full play, or maybe they will now. But you see that Miller has a little bit too much of a lean on the side here. And there it is, squeezes in.
I think it went right off Miller and in. So
that's where it went. Yep.
Coughlin shot it from about 1.5 to 2 feet deeper than the goal line and off the shoulder and in. So it's a 4-3 hockey game. The Wolves staying in this one, down 4-3 to the Greyhounds with a little over 4 minutes to go in the second period. And yeah, if you're a coach who's telling players that it's never a bad idea to put the puck at the net, this would be a prime example tonight.
Oh, because that's a picture in the dictionary right there.
Like we said, there really just haven't been a lot of fancy goals here. There's been no power play goals, and it's all just pucks at the net, either rebounds or bouncing off something or just going through a goalie. There's another shot for Kovan, right in the slot, and the goaltender makes a good save.
And we're going to say, too, that 90% of the goals in hockey are not the highlight reel goals that you see. They're exactly those plays, just putting the puck on the net, deflections, tips, off face-offs, whatever.
Charche will control it behind the Wolves' net. It's banked up to center. Greyhounds get it, though. Kovan in there on the forecheck for Sudbury. But the Greyhounds are going to bring it out. Kaczynski goes around his man, shoots wide on the far side. Solomon. Cross ice, but intercepted by Vladimir Provorov. Off the skate to the stick, and he will skate it out to neutral ice. Backhand flips it in deep and goes after it himself. Greyhound's able to skate it out now. Zvolensky is a player who we've seen a lot of. We've definitely seen our share of Brady Martins, with 3 of them in the game, but Zvolensky, only one of him, and we've seen him a lot. And here's Brady Smith, as I say that, for Sudbury. Banks it up the boards. Bremer will get it up to the blue line. Skates it in over the line, loses it there, and there's Zvolensky again. Backhanding it around the boards. Chipped out to center. Blonda's got a man on him as he goes back last man. Gets it off the boards to Ethan Dean. Dean with some speed. Across to Bennett. Bennett down the right side on his wrong wing. Cuts, turns, sends it back to the point. Blonda just floats it in deep. The goaltender will chip it to the end boards. Bennett again, cross ice. Shot right on, deflected, but goes wide. Goes back to the point again. Wolves with some pressure inside the Sioux zone. Blonda, his shot into all kinds of traffic. And the puck is going to get chipped now up, I believe, right into the hands of Scott Barney behind the Sudbury bench. And he just casually flips it up into the crowd.
Nothing bugs Scott.
No.
Nothing bugs Scott. Blonda here, that was nice, and you can see the intelligence in his game a little bit when he has the puck. Just to float the puck to an open space. If the player had zigged instead of zagged, that puck was on his stick and towards the net. And then the other sequence where Blonda took the shot, it went between two sets of legs almost onto the net. So you can see some intelligence in the game, which is always good to see, especially for an offensive defenseman like him.
Absolutely. McKenzie for the Greyhounds down the left side, takes it close to the net, but can't get it in front. Greyhounds will keep it. Andrew with a shot off a skate, though, and all the way back out. Floated into the neutral ice. Ferrand inside the zone now. High slot to Walton, makes a nice move and a great pass to Villeneuve, but his shot was basically a fan and went off the end boards.
That's 2 that he's missed tonight, that he probably won't miss in the regular season.
No. Sudbury controlling in their zone, off the boards to Ferran. He backhands it out to Walton. Kieran Walton controls the puck, takes it around the net, floats it back out front, all the way to the point to Odell. Ferran can control it as the puck was too close to his body, and the Greyhounds will get it. Out to neutral ice. Under a minute to go now in period 2. 4-3 the Greyhounds lead. OHL exhibition action. Sudbury Wolves hockey on YouTube and Facebook tonight for preseason. Jeff Giffen and Ryan Love happy to be here, enjoying some early hockey as we get set for the OHL season for the Wolves. Will start on September 19th here at home against the North Bay Battalion.
And as you can see with this, the game's a little bit chippy. It is an exhibition game. You're going to see that with North Bay as well next week and the next week. So we're going to have some fairly exciting games coming up already in this September part of the season.
Still a couple of exhibition games to go for the Wolves, who will play at home next Friday night against the North Bay Battalion. That's a 7:05 start, preseason game here at the Sudbury Community Arena. And then they will wrap up their exhibition schedule against the Kingston Frontenacs, a 4 o'clock start on Sunday the 14th. And you were saying that is not in Kingston.
That is not in Kingston. That is in Stouffville. Home of the Stouffville Spirit, which is the Wolves Junior A farm team this year.
Against the team the Wolves played in the playoffs last season. And it's going to be a 2-on-1 emerging for the Greyhounds. And the pass goes out front, but a good play by a back-checking Blake Clayton, who's able to keep that from the front of the net. Oh, Coughlin takes a bad hit right at the end of the period.
There's a penalty on that play.
And there's going to be a penalty on the play. Clayton kind of went after the Greyhound, and he gets headlocked by a different Sioux player. I don't know that it was intentional, but I don't know that it wasn't. It was one of those plays where Coughlin was going for the puck. He never got it. The player hit him, and it was kind of an awkward situation right near the Greyhounds blue line.
See it here on the Jumbotron here, and
hard to say. He's just kind of standing his ground. I can see why the Wolves would be upset about it, but Coughlin's looking the other way, right?
Coughlin's looking the other way, and the player just, the puck's gone. The puck is gone, so I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was expecting the period that the period was over, because he really had little time. Thought Coughlin was going to stop, perhaps. I'm not sure. But yes, I can understand why the Wolves would be mad at that. There is a penalty on the play.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there should be a penalty for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously the referees agree with our assessment as well.
Was it dirty, ugly, intentional? I don't know. But should there be a penalty? Yeah, I think so.
Yes, absolutely.
So the Wolves, that'll be a great opportunity for Sudbury, down 4-3 at the end of 2 periods. And they will start the 3rd period with an entire 2-minute power play. I think a better period for Sudbury in the 2nd than in the 1st. The Greyhounds really controlled the play. You could see some of the Wolves veterans kind of getting the legs going and starting to make those tic-tac-toe plays. Maybe a little too fancy at times, but they definitely had some chances.
Yeah, not just the veterans, but the rookies are getting a little bit more confident with each other and whatnot. And like, okay, yeah, we survived that period, so you know what, guys? You know where the space is on the ice. You know where the puck should go. You know what to do and not to do, because they had the puck a lot, and you've got to run over a bit. So they made the adjustments necessary, and it's still a work in progress. It's still, they could still play better, I'm pretty sure. But you know what? That was definitely a better period. Just the defenseman hitting the players with the puck up front and whatnot, not being hemmed in the zone. That was definitely a better period for them.
So the Greyhounds out shooting Sudbury by a count of 26-12 through 2 periods. Before we sign off, Ryan, it's exhibition. So it's not all about the win, it's about development. But let's be honest, everybody wants to win a game, and the fans in the stands here at home want to win a game. So what do they got to do in period 2 in the last 20 minutes to do that?
In the last 20 minutes, what they need to do is get some sustained zone time in the Greyhound zone. They haven't had a lot of that. It's improved in the 2nd period. It's gotten a little bit better, but you need some sustained zone time. You need to be able to cycle the puck a little bit more, not just expect to dump and chase when you get that puck, not just have a shot on the net, but try to keep it a little bit and set up a play. They were doing a better job of that in the 2nd. Now in the 3rd, if they can do that a little bit more, as you can see with this goalie in net, he's let in some tough goals, we'll say. So if you get the puck at the net, you don't know what's going to happen. Right? There's enough offensive talent on the team that can put the puck in the net. You just need to keep the puck so they can get the chances.
It's the theme of the night. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. Some famous guy said that. I don't know.
Somebody, Michael Scott, maybe.
Yeah. 4-3 Greyhounds at the end of 2 periods. We'll be back with third period action in about 15 minutes time. So signing off, Sudbury Wolves Hockey on YouTube and Facebook. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Sudbury Wolves Hockey on YouTube and Facebook. Jeff Giffen along with Ryan Love for tonight's preseason OHL action involving two northern rivals, bitter as they come, the Sioux Greyhounds and the Sudbury Wolves. Sioux has already beaten Sudbury once in the exhibition campaign, 3-1 in the Sioux last week. And tonight they have a 4-3 lead heading into period number 3, but the Sudbury Wolves will start period 3 on the power play a full 2 minutes after Chase Coughlin was hit without the puck in his vicinity right at the end of period 2. So Ryan, a tremendous opportunity for the Wolves in this exhibition game to even the score early in period 3.
You know what's nice about having the power play when you have it is that you have a fresh sheet of ice. Once you get in there, you're ready to go. You don't have all the scrapes and the puddles and whatever else on the ice. You have a fresh sheet of ice, you're ready to go. Your passes will be a little bit crisper and smoother. So hopefully they can take advantage. Not to say it's going to be a big turning point because it is an exhibition game and whatnot, obviously. But you know what? Again, one shot could change a game.
Yeah.
They might play different at 4-4 instead of, oh, you know what? We didn't score on that power play at 4-3. This is what, they're only their second power play tonight. So
That's right.
Hopefully they convert, and hopefully the 5 guys that they do put on the power play are going to know each other a little bit and be able to get everything set up.
Well, it's only exhibition, and, you know, wins and losses aren't that important. But,
No.
you know, having said that, you want to get your power play ready for the season. You won't have some of these players over the next couple of weeks as they go off to pro camps. So Scott Barney taking the opportunity in a, you know, like a key spot, like you said, in an exhibition game to put out his top guns. So it's going to be Nathan Villeneuve, Kieran Walton, and Alex Ferran, along with Chase Coughlin and Luca Blonda, who will start this power play for the Wolves. Puck dropped, we are underway, and the Wolves get control right away. Walton is going to rip it along the glass deep to the far side. 4 players, 2 white, 2 blue, battling. Greyhounds will come away with it and are able to shoot it down the ice right off the hop. Almost a miscue there. Puck comes out to center. Solomon's going to pick it up, and he will take it backwards inside the Greyhound zone as they kill off some important seconds here on this power play for the Wolves. Blonda back behind his own net. Controls a bouncing puck and skates up ice. Drops back to Walton, who picks up speed over center. Walton down the left side into the middle. Backhand shot off a stick, and it's out to Villeneuve, who can't control, and the puck will trickle over the blue line. Blonda has a man on him as he darts back toward his net. Makes a nice pass across to Ferran. Ferran inside the zone. Wolves really haven't had a setup opportunity yet on this power play, and they won't again as the Greyhounds do a good job and are able to shoot it down the ice. Just 55-0 seconds left in the power play.
Yeah, the puck's just not staying on the stick right now for the team. They might have to do it the old-fashioned way, the whole dump it in and go win the puck. And they do have the guys on the ice right now who can do that.
Wholesale changes for the Wolves. Provorov flips the puck back, and it's behind the Sudbury net. 28 seconds to go in the power play. Greyhounds leading 4-3 early third period. Off Provorov's skate, and it's going to be shot down the ice. Charche elects not to go after it, and the Greyhounds player gets there, but he's just going to pin it on the end boards, kill off some valuable seconds, of which there aren't many in this power play. Wolves will bring it out. Chitteroni to center. 2 men on him. Can't even bring it inside the zone. He gets crunched along the boards, and now Brady Smith for the Greyhounds is able to backhand it in. The power play is over, and the Greyhounds do an excellent job of killing off that early opportunity for Sudbury. Louse with the puck, top of the circle into the slot. It'll bounce over to the far side. Greyhounds control. Back of the net, back of the Wolves net. Hudson Martin and Cole Reggett, the 2 rookie defensemen, battling for the Wolves down low. Comes back to the point though. A wrist shot from the right point, and it trickles through the slot, but didn't have enough steam to go in the net. Wolves escaping some danger there as Braden Bennett is able to flip it in deep, but I guess he didn't get to center, and so it's going to be called icing on the play.
Yeah, the guys are going back on to hopefully defend this, hopefully get this back out of the zone and get some zone time again like we were talking about earlier. A little bit of a disappointing power play, unfortunately. Couldn't get possession of the puck. A little bit too much in the way of carrying the puck. Need a little bit more jam on those power plays.
Face-off is to the right of Carson Chartier. Came in with 10-12 remaining in the second period after the Greyhounds had taken a 3-2 lead. 1 goal each since then, so it's a 4-3 score in favor of the Sioux. Puck into the Wolves' end. Brown for the Greyhounds picks it up behind the net. Circles back to the end boards, loses it. It'll come to the blue line, and Gillen is going to keep it in for Sault Ste. Marie. In down low. Connors for the Wolves falls down. Greyhounds can't capitalize on that opportunity. Reggett now with the puck, flips it around the boards. And it's sent right back in, but off the skate of Reggett and back out to center. Here's Rowan Henderson. Gets the feet moving over the Greyhounds' blue line, chipping it in behind the net. But there's a bunch of Greyhounds there, and they will just easily slide it out to center. Gillen to Aerosmith. A cross-ice attempt picked up now by Fran with some speed, but can't get around the defender. And the Greyhounds are able to skate it out of their zone. Here's McKenzie. McKenzie with some speed into the Wolves' end. A wrist shot right on, and Chartier able to make a fairly easy glove save. He'll hold on with just under 16 minutes to go in a 4-3 Greyhounds lead in period 3.
We were saying earlier about Greyhounds and how fast they are, how they just plug and play players for a lot of the time. You don't really notice the difference in some of these players. They're just very fast and very quick. And this new player, Quinn McKenzie, American free agent, happens to be one of them. He just fits right into the system.
And you know, once you get good at defending that, you can. But man alive, if you don't bring your best game, the Greyhounds will eat you up.
Absolutely. They'll beat you to every loose puck.
And here they go again with that speed. Chartier makes a save. And the Wolves will bring it back the other way. Villeneuve down the right side into the zone. Finds Martin. Martin with a wrist shot. A rebound. And 2 big saves by the goaltender Miller, who's had some trouble tonight on some easier stops. But boy, when the Wolves have had big chances, he's been right there to make the save.
Villeneuve's a little snake bit tonight, unfortunately. That's the third one that was a grade A scoring chance that Miller either came up with or was just in the right position to hit him or whatever it happened to be. And that is one good thing about if you are going to be a goalie, you're going to let in some bad goals. The number one thing, of course, is to forget it, move on, and make the next save, which Landon Miller has been doing so far tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Puck inside the Sudbury zone. Bennett down low in the Wolves zone, along with 2 defenders being Reggett and Blonda. Blonda will leave it there for Bennett. Bennett couldn't find anyone to outlet to, and he kind of gave it away back behind the net. Now Coughlin for the Wolves will chip it off the boards, off the linesman's skate and out to center. Coughlin at the Sioux blue line has to backtrack, or he would have been offside. That allows the Greyhounds to break it into the Wolves zone. Here's a shot from the slot, and a good save by Chartier. Sharon for the Sioux. Lost the puck. Blonda with speed coming out of the Sudbury end. Goes around one player. Goes around a second. Skates into the middle. Looking for someone to pass to. Shoots it instead, but missed the net on the blocker side. Hilton brings it over the Sudbury line. A little bit end-to-end action here. Chips it off the boards, but the Wolves will have a chance to break that out. Bramer up to Coughlin, but he gets pinned against the boards by Gillen, the defenseman for the Sioux, and that will allow the Greyhounds to clear the puck deep into the Sudbury end. Greyhounds out front, but off a stick, and the Wolves bring it out the other way. Lose it quickly near the Greyhounds' blue line. That one's flipped out to center again, but it comes right back to Croskery for the Greyhounds. Wheeling inside his own end. Now gets some forward motion going and gets the puck deep into the Sudbury zone. Jan Kovan out to Provorov, one of the more dangerous Wolves tonight. Provorov goes between the net and the goaltender, but waved off, meaning no interference, just a play, just a normal hockey play, I guess. Odell on the end boards. Wolves get it out to center, but no further. Now Zwolenski takes it into the Sudbury end, loses the puck to Connors. Connors to Odell, far side, off the boards, intercepted again by the Hounds. They've just done a really good job of minimizing the Wolves' breakouts. Henderson with a shot. That one's off a skate, goes wide. And now it's going to be Gillen for the Sioux. Puck hits a errant stick that's on the ice, slides through the crease. No harm, no foul. Out the other side, here comes Henderson to Clayton. Blake Clayton over the line. Deep behind the goal line. Tried to get it out front. It's off a stick, but Henderson will pick it up. Henderson right on net, but hits legs in the process. Now Martin steals. Martin for the Wolves over the blue line. He's hauled down, looking for a penalty, but won't get one. And now the Greyhounds are going to have a chance to get it out. Wolves forecheck getting going here a little bit. Here's Walton now with some speed. Walton with a shot and a good save by the goaltender. Ferran now with a wrist shot. That one would have gone wide, but it's gloved by Landon Miller in the Sioux net. And he'll hold on for a stoppage. 11:43 to go in period 3. A 4-3 Greyhounds lead.
That was a lot of good end-to-end action there to see. Wolves are getting a little bit more zone time. I'd like to see them keep the puck a little bit more in the zone, but they are in the neutral zone. They are taking the puck away a lot more than they were in the first couple periods. Made the necessary adjustments, and the puck's rink is not tilting that way, but it's starting to move that way, which is kind of nice to see for the Wolves players. Lots of good plays on that. Lots of good plays in that sequence. Ethan Dean especially looked really well with the digging. Had a really good chance. Won the puck. Henderson, Clayton, and Dean look pretty good together as well.
You get down to this point in the game now, 11:43 to go. The Wolves down by a goal at home, and you know you've got some players that are working some things out and maybe not going with their A+ game. But you just saw a little rush there by Kieran Walton. That was by far the fastest rush for him this game, and you know these are competitive players who they see the scoreboard and it's like, all right, let's get one now. We're gonna go full tilt.
Yeah, it's time to win this game. It's okay.
And here's Ferran, another veteran for the Wolves. To Walton along the near boards, back to Ferran. Gets it to the point. Hudson Martin couldn't control, and now he's got to hustle, and he's able to get back and prevent a break for the Hounds. Ferran found Villeneuve, but the pass didn't connect, and Aerosmith is going to back it in. That should be offside. No, they didn't call it. Puck in the Wolves zone, backhanded toward the blue line, but not out. Greyhounds will have a chance here. Puck floats off a stick. Ferran battling for it on the far side for Sudbury. A bad angle shot by the Greyhounds. They figure the Wolves scored one that way. Might as well try one ourselves. Blonda. Nifty pass off the boards. It'll come all the way out to center now. Here's Villeneuve. Walton heading to the net. Pass across. And he chipped it at the net, but it went back against the grain and went wide. Kieran Walton bringing his best stuff here in the third period. Bunch of Wolves on a line change. The puck went right near the bench, but it's on a Greyhound stick. Sharon with some speed takes it to the net, put it out front, but right through the slot past everyone. Here's a high slot shot from the Hounds. Nice toe save by Chartier as he kicked out that left pad. Things heating up a little bit here. Coughlin down the right side, brings it to the net with speed. Tried to get it out front. Greyhounds player falls. Benches getting involved here now. All of a sudden we have a different hockey game. with half a period to go.
When it's fourth, we got a penalty coming up against the Sioux Greyhounds. When it is 4-3 in anything, whether it's whether it's a Stanley Cup final or an OHL exhibition game, everybody sharpens up the shots.
Yeah.
The passes are a little bit better, hits are a little bit harder. Everybody gets competitive in this league.
Competitive juice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Competitive juice is flowing for sure. 9:25 to go in this third period. A 1-goal Greyhounds lead at 4-3. Sharon will head to the box for the Greyhounds. And the Wolves started this period with a power play. Kieran Walton had a sort of a C+, B- chance in that power play. Otherwise, they didn't get a lot of control. We'll see what they can do here. Hudson Martin quickly off the draw shot. And a pad save, or maybe skate save by Landon Miller, and the puck goes all the way down. Quick chance.
Setup. This is the best, that's the best power play chance they've had so far tonight.
Right off the faceoff. Struggling a little bit to get control in their own zone. Some good PK work by Brown for the Greyhounds. Now Provorov with a nice little pass. Wolves just can't spread out enough to make a good pass. Chitteroni back through the middle. It's offside though, so they'll have to regroup. Gives the Greyhounds time to kill some precious seconds here. 1:20 to go in the power play. It'll go the length of the ice. Blonda back. Didn't make it to Chartier, so he didn't have to stop it. Blonda with a dangerous but nifty play and skates it straight up the middle. Back pass for Chitteroni. Cross to Villeneuve. Villeneuve, oh, and a beautiful pass. And it's going to be Luca Blonda who finishes it off on the doorstep with a wide open cage, and we have a 4-4 game.
That play looked like a regular season play right there. Finding the trailer, finding the second guy. Here we go. We see this on the Jumbotron again. Easy pass. Go to the corner, make some space, stick on the ice. Here we go. Perfect.
Well, and that's the experience of Luca Blonda being a second-year player, and he knows Nathan Villeneuve had a perfect shot at the net, but he also knows that Nathan Villeneuve is not that guy. He's not just going to take the shot if he's got a guy on the doorstep with a wide open cage. Makes a beautiful pass across, and just a gorgeous goal for the Wolves to tie it up.
Like I said, that was regular season worthy. That's exactly what they would normally do. So now, of course, being in this period, they're going to sharpen it up because they still want to win the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
we know we're hitting the road in a couple of days. Right? The players are going to be hitting the road in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So since they're going to be gone, well, let's make it worth our while. Let's go out on a high note.
Well, and call a spade a spade. Guys like Villeneuve and Walton, they don't want to get hurt before they go to, off to their pro camps, but they also don't want to lose a hockey game because that's how they got to be star players in this league, by having that competitive fire.
Never mind hockey, they don't want to lose in anything.
Yeah, probably not in a game of euchre.
No.
All right, we got a brand new hockey game. 8 minutes to go. Here's Croskery over the line. High slot. He's trying to make a pass across. Doesn't connect, and Villeneuve will pick it up. Villeneuve finds a little bit of space for himself. Gets it to Ferran to Walton. Back to Ferran. Ferran's going to look for Walton. Can't get it through. Walton picks it up, though, on the boards and promptly loses it. The Greyhounds will have a chance to get it out, and do. Here's Gillen. Slaps it deep in the Sudbury zone. Chartier will play it along the boards. Villeneuve kicks at it. It goes back behind the Sudbury net. Connors chops it up the boards. Flipped into the middle nicely to Villeneuve. Villeneuve over the line. One move around one guy, can't get around the second, but is able to get the puck deep. In back of the Greyhounds net as they look to break it out. Some forecheck by the Wolves, though, and they'll keep it in. Rowan Henderson to Ethan Dean, right to the blue line and just out. Reggett couldn't keep it in. Gets it across to his partner, though, and Connors will flip it deep into the Sioux zone. Clayton. End boards, off the boards to Connors, into the middle, takes a shot, rips it 7 feet wide, and now it's out to the neutral zone. Dean pokes at it, gets it to Henderson for the Wolves. Inside his own zone, cross to Connors. Nice little spinorama move, gets it to Ethan Dean. Ethan Dean will shoot, and that is off a Greyhound stick up into the mesh with 6:37 to go in a 4-4 hockey game.
That's the most pep in their step I've seen all game. Right through the lineup. So again, 4-3 becomes 4-4, and everybody starts to pick it up. And you know what, you feel that 2 inches taller and 10 pounds heavier, right? You're going to win those battles. You're about 5 miles an hour faster, all those things when the game's on the line. So it's always my favorite part of the game to watch anyway.
All right. I don't know if this is the first time tonight, but first time I noticed we have all 3 Brady Smiths on the ice at the same time.
Oh.
Wolves defenseman Brady Smith wearing 57, and the Greyhounds with Brady T. Smith at number 11 and Brady R. Smith number 12. I mean, that can't have happened a lot.
No.
I mean,
that's got to be some kind of record, no?
The Stashneys, all 3 brothers on the same team, but they're not the same name.
No.
You know, like,
I can imagine there might have been some games where the Sutters all must have played against each other at some point, but
again, not the same, the whole full name, like Brady Smith, and Brady Smith. Wolves will keep it in. Kovan finds Provorov, his shot, and the puck was loose, but a nice pad saved by the goalie. Another shot by the Wolves. It's in! Kovan bounces it into the net from the high slot, maybe even just inside the blue line. And no chance for the goaltender on that one. The Wolves with their first lead of the game at 5-4.
Again, you put that puck on the net, no matter what it is. It could be a soft shot, could be the hardest shot you have. Deflection, bounce, in the net. Now it's quite the bounce in the slot. That was almost like a knuckle puck. So here you'll see again in the Jumbotron. You guys cut me off here.
It's coming again.
Yeah, it's coming back.
So here it is. Bad giveaway by the Hounds.
Deflection, hits the ice.
It didn't hit anything, just the ice.
No, it hit the player. When they were shooting, hit the player. It was on its way to the net, hit the ice, and took a weird bounce to the left, to the goalie.
But it was like a low puck going on the ice. It hit the ice and then went way up, like a baseball that hits the grass and the dirt right in that spot, you know?
Yeah, or if you ever play baseball on turf, it hits the edge where it's steel, and then it goes zoom.
Yeah.
Right? That was a very odd bounce. That was a very, you cannot duplicate that if you tried it 1,000 times. No. Right? But that's why you shoot on the net. That's why you get pucks in the net, because you never know what can happen. And I don't think we'll see that again for a while.
No, I don't think so. It was almost like it hit a rut on the ice or something.
Yeah. Well,
either way, either way, it is September 5th. Either way, the Wolves are up 5-4. I said first lead of the game. They actually led 1-0. So apologies for that. It's been a long time since they had the lead. Fell behind 4-2, but now have stormed back to make it a 5-4 lead, but they are now with 5:19 to go in regulation going to have to kill off a penalty. Jaden Connors in the box for Sudbury, and we have a face-off to the left of Carson Charche, who hasn't had a ton of action. Most of the shots were in the first half of the game. Croskery with a shot and a nice stop there by Charche on a long shot from the point. And we're going to get a whistle as the puck came in offside. Wolves managed to kill 13 seconds of that power play.
That was a pretty good, it's a good time for Carson to get some shots and see how the sequence works and see how he is. He's made some good saves so far tonight, but I don't think he's been, I don't think he's had to be in the net to kill a penalty. So we'll see how that looks from a Wolves perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Greyhounds slowly out of their own zone. Up to the blue line, chopped in deep. Odell goes after it, bumps with his man. Puck is just in feet right now as they battle for it. Got 5 players in there, 4 of them digging for it, and Henderson hoping it comes to him. It doesn't.
It did momentarily.
Yeah, it'll go to the end boards, and now chopped out over the blue line. Henderson is able to poke it in deep. Takes it right behind the Greyhounds net, and he's going to try to pin it down there. 3 Greyhounds battling him for the puck. A little bit of pushing and shoving there, and Henderson takes a whack as he skates away, but no penalties will come of that. 48 seconds to go in the Greyhounds' advantage. Brown can't pick it up for the Sioux. Finally, it goes to the point. And it's going to be played back in deep behind the Sudbury net. Reggett pushes his man to the boards. Greyhounds have control. Far side into the slot. A shot, and they score. A bit of a knuckleball type of shot from the slot, as the puck may have been bouncing, and Chartier on the glove side just couldn't control it.
We'll see this on the big screen again. Here's the shot. And yeah, that was kind of an off-speed pitch, we'll just say. With that, he almost had it. Just a change of speed to change the direction a little bit threw him off.
It wasn't really...
Of course, the player in front of him threw it off too a little bit. There was a screen there, so he caught it a little bit late, but he almost got it, but can't really fault him for that one.
Yeah, it wasn't really a, sliding pass into the slot. It was a puck that was flipped, not a sauce, but more of a flip, and it kind of bounced onto the stick. So that took a little bit of the speed off on the shot, to your point, and as a result, Chartier had a hard time with it. Finds the back of the net, and we're tied 5-5 with 3.5 minutes to go here in regulation.
Well, as we mentioned at the outset, when we started talking about shooting, putting the pucks in the net or whatnot, 90% of the goals that you see are not overly pretty. There's lots of bounces, there's lots of deflections. There's lots of times where you try to get that perfect slap shot, and you get one of those that goes in the net.
Exactly.
I think it was Phil Esposito who used to say, I just put the puck in the net. And that's why he scored so many goals. He just put the puck in the net. He didn't have this overly hard shot. It just had to hit the net, however fast it had to be.
Greyhounds bring it in, and it just missed the side of the net. Puck was kind of floating up in the air, bounced off a body. Chartier's lost his stick now. It's to his right and behind the net. But it's okay because Coughlin's got it. He's bringing it up for the Wolves, but at the end of a shift, he's going to just chip it deep and head off on a change. 2:26 to go. Third period tied 5-5 at the Sudbury Community Arena. Wolves and Sioux Greyhounds. Wolves looking to avenge a loss in the Sioux last week. The first exhibition game for both teams. Sudbury won 4-3 Wednesday in Rouyn-Noranda. And now sporting a 1-1 record and tied 5-5 here. Puck out to center, Chitteroni. Chitteroni will make a pass up to Kovan. He can't get it back to Chitteroni on the give and go. And Laus, as a result, is going to poke it in deep for the Sioux. Chartier leaves it there for Trevor Odell. Odell, right side, Kovan. Out to Chitteroni, takes it nicely off the skate. A little pass to Odell, and nobody with him, so he'll fire it in. Greyhounds put it up along the boards, but not out. Villeneuve to Odell. Some space on the left side at the net, and a save and a ricochet rebound goes out to the Greyhounds, who will chip it deep. Not going to go far enough for icing, so Hudson Martin will play it along the boards and up to Clayton. Clayton to Villeneuve. Villeneuve stops inside the circle, floats it to the net or through the slot and out the other side. It's going to go to Henderson on the boards. Henderson can't do anything with it, and the goal scorer for the Sioux, Christopher Brown, is going to play it back of the net. He's the guy who just tied the hockey game at 5-5. Under a minute to go here in regulation time. Croskery bumped by Henderson at center. Wolves get the puck. Henderson chips it up to the blue line. Villeneuve with a hit on his man Sharon, and the Greyhounds are going to get it deep. Chartier stops it back there, will flip it high along the boards. Henderson able to get it out to center, but the Hounds, Gillen, will pound it right back in. 20 seconds to go in regulation. Pass up by Brady Smith of the Wolves to the Hounds' blue line, but turned back the other way by McKenzie. Cross ice to Sharon. Lost it to the Wolves, and Blonda controls back of the net. Just 5 seconds to go in the hockey game, or in regulation. And Villeneuve will slowly skate it back into his own end toward his goalie. And this one will end after 60 minutes in a 5-5 tie.
Eventually, we're going to shootout.
And then go straight to shootout, right?
Straight to shootout, yep. Just like in Timmins with the Wolves and Rwanda. There's some really nice moves from Walton and Berehowski on those shootouts. So did very well there. Now I think there might be some rule changes this year as far as when they do have shootouts. Now we didn't see a shootout last year, if you can believe that. The Wolves didn't have a shootout once. I think they used to have to clear the outside. You have to clear down the middle. And now there's a different rule where you don't have to clear. You don't have to take all that time for ice maintenance. You just go straight to shootout.
Right on.
I think it's easier. It's saves you some time. Gets everybody going. Keeps everybody into the game.
First shooter, the Wolves are going to go first, and it's Kieran Walton. Brings it over the blue line. Kind of slowing down into the slot, and Deekson scores.
Here's a very similar move on Wednesday. He's kept this one on the ice. Great goal.
He's got such a long reach that slow approach works so well for him, because obviously he's got the hands, he's got the IQ and smarts, and then he has the finish. Here's McKenzie for the Hounds. First shooter for the Sioux, getting booed mercilessly. Lost the puck and then gets poked by Chartier, the Wolves goaltender, who saw that the player McKenzie had lost the puck a little bit off his stick and pounced on it with that big goal stick.
I'm interested to see what this is going to look like. We got Provorov taking the next penalty shot. Like to see what kind of hands he has on a one-on-one situation.
Almost to the boards on the right side, into the zone, and slides it into the net.
Maybe we want a few more shootouts this year for us.
Yeah. Get it past overtime, through the 5-minute overtime period, and let's win it in a shootout. It ain't over yet, though. Wolves up 2-0, which means this one has to go in. The shooter is Ryan Kaczynski for the Greyhounds. He approaches slowly. Top of the circle into the slot, and a nice little deke. Backhand to forehand, and he fooled Chartier with that move. And it's now 2-1 in the shootout.
Well, Kaczynski being a rookie in this league, being a first round draft pick this year, 09. Chartier's never seen him before.
Looked slick there. It's Hudson Chitteroni for Sudbury. Chitteroni down the left side, close to the boards, cutting back into the middle. Also slow, and he tried to get it up over the glove, but the goaltender, Landon Miller, able to make the stop. This will be one of the Brady Smiths. It's Brady T. Smith for the Greyhounds. Again, the Boo Birds here at the Sudbury Arena. Slowly into the zone, takes the shot, and it's a pad save for Carson Chartier, and the Wolves win here at home.
There you go. They're 1-1 against the Hounds this year. Entertaining game, gutsy effort. I'm going to say it's gutsy effort. Great comeback. Even though they've been outshot 33-21, and it was a 6-5 game, I'm going to say that both Wolves goalies played well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 6-5 game. There were definitely some big saves by Landon Miller in the Sioux net. He let in a couple of weird ones. The first one by Chitteroni that kind of just went through him, and the one by Coughlin that went off his shoulder and in from behind the goal line. But he made a lot of big saves on the Wolves' better chances.
Oh, he absolutely did.
And at the other end, Owen Leonard, I thought, had a pretty good game. Carson Chartier, let in a couple, but one was a knuckle puck, and,
Yeah, but he made a lot of good saves coming across and whatnot, and in this shootout here, I mean, he did his job.
Yeah,
he gave him the chance to win. He gave him the chance to win, and they pulled it off.
And quite frankly, the Wolves shooters look great in the shootout, so they win it with 3 shootout goals by a score of 6-5, and will now play their last 2 preseason games next Friday night here at the Sudbury Community Arena against the North Bay Battalion. They'll finish up their preseason in Stouffville against the Kingston Frontenacs on next Sunday, the 14th, and then get ready for the regular season Friday, September the 19th, here at home against the North Bay Battalion. So it's a 6-5 win for the Wolves. Any parting thoughts on what you saw from Sudbury that you liked, maybe what you didn't like, Ryan?
Well, as far as what I liked, I mean, I liked that this is, keep in mind, this is an exhibition game, but players had a lot of kinks to work out. Getting to learn the systems, getting to learn each other and whatnot. In the first period didn't look so cohesive, I guess I'm going to say is probably the best word for that. But as the game came on, they kept it together. They kind of blended into the systems. Some younger players got some confidence. Hudson Martin took some steps in that game for sure on defense. This guy's playing together, getting better as the game went on and sticking to the systems. That was great to see. Another thing that was great to see was a 16-year-old goalie playing very well, looking very composed in the Sudbury net. Yeah,
he looked confident, composed, as you say, and let in a few goals, but made some real big saves as well. And the goals he did let in, I don't think he had a chance on a lot of them. So
no. And another thing I want to point out is that the Wolves did play a fairly young defense. Like, again, 4 of the guys who were on the ice have played maybe 5 games in the OHL as call-ups, right? So your vets were Odell and Blonda. So you had 4 guys who were kind of getting used to it and playing maybe roles that they're not going to be playing in the regular season, being bumped up a little bit to see what you can do, right? And it's good for the coaching staff to give them the confidence to do that and to see what they can and cannot do.
Absolutely. 5 different goal scorers for the Wolves in tonight's game. Hudson Chitteroni, the first one. Vladimir Provorov, Chase Coughlin, Luca Blonda, who you just mentioned as a veteran defenseman at the tender age of 17 and Jan Kovan, who wrapped up the scoring, and then of course 3 more went in the back of the net in the shootout. The Wolves win it in extra time in the shootout, 6-5 here against the Sioux Greyhounds. For Ryan Love, I'm Jeff Giffen. Thanks for tuning in here on YouTube and Facebook for Sudbury Wolves hockey from the Sudbury Community Arena. Have a great night, everyone.